Solid gold.
All right, we're live.
All right. Let's do the thing.
Do your tweeting.
I'm tweeting. I'm on it. Silence your cell phones. The second annual. It's the second annual.
I know.
Oh, how loud is that? Let me see. Hold on. You might hear this. I'm sorry. The second annual. It's the second annual. Oh, yeah. That's pretty. That sounds good. I can probably move my mic, actually.
My mic sounds nice. Check one.
All right. Do. Happy New Year. All right. Twitter. Why does it do that? Copy link. Tweet. I still think you spell Cellies wrong.
I mean, how else would you spell it?
With a Y.
But you can't do that.
I think you can.
Is it possessive?
No.
Because you can't do it. I mean, you have to do IES if you're going to do a what?
Yeah, but when you do,
unless you do an apostrophe S, but then that makes it possessive.
Yeah, but you're not doing the apostrophe. So, like,
fuck it. We'll fight about it next year.
I think we fought about it last year.
Yeah, well, that's future us problems. I've already made the title, asshole. You good to?
No. I'm still doing the thing.
Oh my god.
Fire emoji link. Paste, tweet. And then I've got multiple accounts, bro. I got burners.
Do you have burners?
No, I don't.
I didn't think so, really. You don't strike me as a Kevin Gates type.
Yeah. Are here. The votes have been cast.
All two of them.
Selected as winners this year. Sheet. Fire emoji. Link. Every time. Works like a charm.
Did you send out to the young Dane?
Dane McGlone. The Cellies. Link. Paste. The young Dane has received his regular DM with our link.
Good.
All right. All right. I am good to start if you are.
I am good.
Let's get it.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Silence Your Cell Phones. My name's Kevin, here as always with my buddy, my pal, the CEO, the CFO, the president, the El Capitan of Silence Your Cell Phones, Jared Hubbard.
Every week you always impress me with how you're going to introduce me. I think I like that one the most. El Capitan.
Yeah. Yeah, a little Rush Hour reference.
Yeah, El Presidente's already taken. I'm not going to tread over and Barstool.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's capable of.
Yeah, exactly. As you know, Jarrett, we have a very big episode today. We are doing our second annual Celly Awards, where we essentially pick our favorites of all the movies that we've seen this year, and there have been a ton, just like there were last year. And it's exciting because to me it's more of a of the everyman perspective and not so much the critically acclaimed Oscar winning. These types of things are a little bit different than what we as fans and critics offer.
Well, yeah, it's because our picks are correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah. The Oscars don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Neither
yeah,
do the
yeah.
Golden Globes. This is really the only spot that matters.
This is the only award show you need.
That's
period.
true. This sums up everything you need to know.
Yeah. Before we start, though, let's go ahead and do what we always do. Let's talk about what we watched in the last, because we weren't actually on last week. What did you watch for the last 2 weeks?
So I watched The Menu, Banshees of Inisherin, some Blue Lock. I watched all of that 90s show. If you want our review on it, it's on the Patreon. I know, new year, new me, Patreon video in the first month. I'm proud of myself.
What?
What else did I watch? I think that might have been. Yeah, I started some new animes or some new old animes, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's cool.
What about you?
I finally got around to watching Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it was as good, if not better than advertised. I'm a super big fan of that movie. I see why it got all the hype it's gotten. I also watched The Banshees of Inisherin. I'd seen Colin Farrell getting a lot of credit for his performance in that movie, and I really like Colin Farrell. I've been a Colin Farrell fanboy since SWAT. So I was excited to see him in a more native role because he is Irish.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool, and I really, really enjoyed that film as well. Watched a lot of TV, a lot of sports. It's playoff season for football and a lot of soccer and a lot of LeBron James is about to break the all-time scoring record. So I've been tuning into his games and watching it. Anime, obviously. Also watched Puss in Boots in theaters.
Oh, we did watch Puss in Boots. How come we watched it literally yesterday?
Literally, yeah. No, it wasn't yesterday. What day was Monday?
It was Monday. Yeah. Okay.
4 days ago, Jared. Yeah. Damn. Yesterday.
Look, it's been stressful, man.
No, I get it. Work happens, life happens. It's all good. But yeah, it sounds like we both had some fairly busy weeks in movie and television watching.
Yep.
Still watching Suits, still watching the regular anime stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Nice.
It was solid, rock solid. But I believe it's time.
That's true. And
I'm just
going to go ahead and tell everyone to buckle up because we don't know each other's list. Like, there's a couple that we had already, like, going in was kind of just like a lock already. But the way the format works is we did our top three of not every category, majority of the same category the Oscar does. Since that's kind of the pinnacle of award shows, we decided to go off their criteria. And there's some hot takes.
To say the least.
So, yeah.
It's exciting.
Hope everyone's prepared. Don't hate me.
Yeah. Preface it with just don't hate us, okay? We have our taste. You have yours. It's fine.
I feel pretty confident that our winners are going to be in good taste. It's usually my third pick where things get
a little dicey.
Spicy.
All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's do best animated picture or best animated film. We select three. And did you want to go in order, or do you want to go my three, your three, or 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, or
let's do Your three, my three, your two, my two, your one,
Okay.
my one, and then we'll alternate who starts.
Yeah. So animated, my number three is The Sea Beast. It was a Netflix release. I actually got to watch it really early, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good story, pretty good animation. Definitely okay with having that in the three spot.
Yeah, I went with The Bad Guys at number
Sure.
three. Uh, Again, it was a super early in the year animated movies, but there wasn't a ton of great animated movies this year. It was between The Bad Guys or the Bob Burgers movie, if that puts in perspective what we had to choose from
The
this year
Bob's
for.
Burgers movie might have been the best musical we watched all year.
It might have been the only musical I watched this year. But that's a different tangent for a different day.
Yeah, my number two, more of a hard pick because I am a weeb. The Jujutsu Kaisen movie was my number two. I don't know, man. Like I read it. It was the first movie that I read before watching.
Yeah.
As far as like anime manga goes, and I thought they did it justice. It looked very good. The fights were awesome. So yeah, the Jujutsu Kaisen movie would be my number two.
That was also my number two, for pretty much all of the same reasons. It's a super clean film. Yeah, if you're not a fan of the show, you might not like it, even though it is a prequel, so it'd be a really good spot to get into the show.
Sure.
But usually Japanese animation or anime films don't get a lot of credit during award season, and that's kind of unfortunate
Yeah.
because there's some really good ones out there. But
Some of the most beautiful animated films I've seen were Japanese.
yeah, it's almost like it comes down to the studio. Like I think Ghibli gets a lot of recognition. Like they've kind of gotten over the hump, but I've like especially unless it's like a singular self-contained movie, I don't think we'll ever see a anime film crack
No, because
awards.
it should have been Your Name, in my
Uh,
opinion.
well, I mean, not for this year, but whenever it came
No,
out.
no, when it
Yeah,
came out, yeah,
yeah,
because to me, it's still one of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever seen.
yeah.
Um,
Fair.
Number one, not recency bias, Puss in Boots.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
cold, bro.
same here. Probably one of the best. I mean, I guess he's an anti-hero villains of of last year, just
Yeah.
in a storytelling. Like I thought Death was awesome.
Well,
Uh
I love that he was deaf. Like I would have hated if he were a bounty hunter, but he was deaf, like actual deaf.
yeah, I kept
Um,
thinking he was going to be like
oh
the big bad wolf because everything they do is fairy tales, and that might be why they picked a wolf, but
yeah,
like every like the way the story was told when he would just show up and he would be whistling, and then it was
yeah,
just like it's just like you can't escape it obviously because it is death, and it's just like the everything about Puss in Boots honestly was really good. It was gorgeous.
yeah.
The
Yeah, DreamWorks did a really good job, and I really liked that they went for like a new agey animation style. I don't know if you
Yeah,
noticed with some of the like fight scenes and the it was just really well done. It got a little grainy at times, but like still super clean. And Death was one of the best antagonists that I've seen animated in a long time, and that's saying a lot. He was that guy, pal.
he was just
Yeah.
cool. He was just a
Yeah.
really cool character. I would like to have seen him a little more, but I kind of appreciated him having such impactful scenes and not always being there.
Yeah.
Because there was obviously another bad guy in the movie that was more of like the overarching antagonist.
Well, he wasn't there, but he was like his impact was felt throughout, regardless of whether or not he was like actually in a scene, just because of the fear that he instilled in Puss. Like he like permeated the movie. I thought it was really tastefully done.
Yeah, agreed.
So
That one was kind of league of its own.
for sure, definitely the best animated film of the year. I know it's a weaker category. but it still deserves recognition. I mean, I'd be surprised if it didn't win the actual Oscar. And if it doesn't, it's probably because people ride Guillermo del Toro for Pinocchio.
Yeah. I mean, and this could be for a different episode. It might be the best Shrek world movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as a film, it was definitely better than all
Oh,
the
for
other
sure.
all the other Shreks.
Well,
Uh,
they were made in a different time.
that's true.
So it's a little bit harder to compare, but like plot wise, it was probably the strongest.
Yeah.
So you want to do cinematography next?
Yes, that works for me.
So
Um,
go ahead. You first.
yeah, I think I'm starting this one.
Mhm.
So we kind of talked about this one a little earlier. I don't want to say obligated to put it on. But our lists are going to vary a lot from what you're going to see during award season, and that this movie is lacking in a lot of my list, but he's consistent to say the least. But I have The Fablemans. It's a good looking movie. Spielberg is Spielberg. It's going to be good looking regardless. But I thought it was shot fairly well. Not my favorite movie of the year, but if it was going to be anywhere on my list, it would be here.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. If it was going to be on there, it was definitely going to be for cinematography. My number 3 is actually The Batman. Because minus a scene, I thought it was shot pretty well. And I think you know which scene I'm talking about, the ugly green screen
Oh,
flying through the air.
yeah.
That was rough, but like on the whole, and you're talking about a 3.5 hour movie or whatever it was. I thought they did a good job of shooting it. Um, and I had the Fablemans at 2, so I'm glad you said it. Since you did, I'll go ahead and say it was also on my list. The only one of 2 categories that I have for the Fablemans, I think. Oh, I apologize. I have 3.
Oh,
Yeah, I have 3.
spicy.
Yeah. So
So my number 2 was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Uh, this, this movie top to bottom is fantastic. All the scenes are shot really well. I think what I appreciated about it the most is it's shot in so many different ways, but they're all cohesive. Like there's so many different universes they have to shoot in. It's a love story, it's a comedy, it's a kung fu movie. Like it has so many different hats, but you never feel like any one of those scenes is out of place. And so I really appreciated the way it was shot.
absolutely. I said my number 2. So if you want to go ahead and tell us your 1.
So my number 1 is Top Gun Maverick. I think everything they were able to do, it's hands down the pinnacle of fighter jet film movies of all time. The way they were able to get the scenes in the air uh was just so spectacular. The what they got the actors to do to get these shots was really just stunning to me, and it really like makes the movie immersive for the viewer. And that's something that I'm a diehard Top Gun 1 fan, but it's something the first movie didn't have. Like just like the one vivid scene is like when they break over the mountain and they're shooting flares, and it's just like you just don't get that in any other dogfight movie. So big kudos to them.
Yeah, it was beautifully done. As far as like aerial combat goes, some of the coolest shots of the year came from that movie, for sure. Um, that being said, my number 1 was your number 2. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I love the way that movie was shot, and it was chaotic. Um, but in a way that was not overbearing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like it was very cool that you could create something so chaotic, but with a cohesive storyline and in different universes. I don't know, man. I thought it was super super cool. Um, uh, yeah, to me, everything, everywhere, all at once, and you'll get that a lot because that movie was a bop,
Yeah.
truly
Yeah.
so good.
I'm really glad you got to see it before we did
Me too.
this,
Yeah,
because it happened so early in the year, and it was an A24 film, so it's not like a ton of people got to see it in theaters.
right.
But it was one of those, like, I walked out of the theater and I was like, holy, like, where did that movie come from?
Yeah, I paid $20 to rent it, or 25 or whatever. Like it's still like it is. They're getting their money's worth still.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that was on a streaming service. Like,
yeah, that's nuts.
yeah, I was like, this, it better be worth it. This movie, and it was every penny. I'd do it again.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the heavier stuff. We'll go best supporting actress.
Sure.
All right. Best supporting actress. My number 3. Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, the movie had tons of great performances, man. Take your pick, right? They're everywhere. And that's the reason why you're going to see them all over Oscar night.
Yeah, I think they got 13 nominations.
Yeah, something like that. It's like 11 or 12, 13. It
Yeah.
was a
It was the most by
shitload.
far.
It was a lot. I think Banshees came in second.
Yeah.
But and then I haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front. That's a movie I'm
No.
very interested in watching because I love like history, love it.
Yeah, I love the book.
Yeah, the book was solid. I read it in high school.
Same.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. And so if you don't see anything from us there, it's because I haven't seen it yet. So
Yeah, it's a little bit of a time commitment. I think it's like 2:45 or
I
something like
expect
that.
no less for like a war epic.
Yeah.
It should be.
No,
Like,
100%. Like, and I'm sure it's phenomenal. I just haven't had the 3 hours to allot to it the past month or so.
sure.
At least at home. I'm usually out and about, so I'll definitely watch it. But I'm the same. So I'm glad you're sitting down, because my number 3 for best supporting actress is a heart pick, to say the least. It is Madeline McGraw, and I know everyone's saying, "Who the hell is Madeline McGraw?" And let me tell you, she is the single best part of The Black Phone.
She was.
As she plays the main character's sister, the one that has the visions. I thought she stole the show on so many occasions. Arguably one of my favorite scenes of all of 2022 comes from this little girl. And I felt like I needed the Black Phone somewhere on my list, because we're not doing honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But I thought
We can give a whole honorable mention to just Kevin Bacon or Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke had a hell of a 2022.
Through the year. He was everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
He was Moon Knight, he was Black Phone, he was Northman. He was everywhere.
And he was good in all of those things.
He was good in all of those things. That is a fact. So
yeah.
Big shouts out to Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
No, I like that pick. That's solid. I think she's gonna be a good actress down the road. Yeah. My number 2 was kind of a hard pick, but I actually loved her role. Carrie Condon as Shabbat on Banshees. It was his sister. I thought she was fantastic.
She was awesome.
The acting overall in this film was amazing. Let's just get that out there. One of the better films I saw this year was The Banshees of Inisherin, and I see why it's getting the notoriety that it's gotten. It deserves it. Very, very strong movie. Um, but her specifically, I really liked, and you'll see Banshees throughout my list too. Not recency bias, just really, really good. So
Yeah, yeah. The beautiful thing about Banshees is it has to be carried by the acting because it is an entire dialogue film
right,
like
yeah,
that.
it's
So they have to be able to carry it for the hour 45, 2 hours that it was. And she definitely was one of the best parts of the movie for
yeah.
sure. So that's a solid pick. Um, my number two, I tossed between two actresses from the same movie, and I finally settled on Brittany Snow from the movie X over Jenna Ortega, even though Jenna Ortega was also phenomenal in the movie. Um, X is another A24 horror film that I think kind of flew under the radar, got really super early in the year, about a group of friends who rent a cabin on a farmhouse to do some degenerate things, and then chaos kind of ensues. But Brittany Snow's always been a solid actress. She really shined in this shown, whatever. She was really good in this film, and I would just like to give her some credit. And the film as a whole was really, really solid.
Did it give it to you?
Uh,
X, X gonna give it to you. You know?
do you know the plot of that movie?
Yeah, they go out and make a porn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So
I'm
so
aware.
so there was a lot of giving it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that was your two, right?
That was my two.
Okay. Oh, my number one, best supporting actress. Let me tell you about this. I loved this film in its entirety. And it just got no love, right? It infuriates Kevin. Um, Anya Taylor Joy for The Northman, my best supporting actress. Um, she also had a year. She was in a bunch of stuff this year. She's an amazing actress, and The Northman was an amazing movie. I hate that it didn't get much love.
Agreed.
Um, because I thought for sure, and that was an A24 film, right?
No.
Oh, it was shot like, I mean,
It's
to
it's it
me,
is it
it's
is very
very,
it's very similar. I thought it was all the way up until I saw the movie.
yeah.
Like I never saw the intro roll. Um, but it's not an A24 film, but it is very
Well,
similar to an A24.
yeah. Um, yeah. So that was my number one for best supporting actress, Anya Taylor Joy.
That's a good pick though. She was also really good in the menu, so you could have picked A or B for her. Like you said, she had a really good year.
Yeah.
My number one is an actress that needs no introduction. The one, the only Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
She carries the film. Uh, every scene she's in, she commands. It doesn't matter who's on the screen with her, how many actors or actresses there are. She is the center of attention and a bright light in the film. Honestly, I don't know what it would have been like without her. But easily the best supporting actress role I've seen this year. She's so strong. Uh, and when you have that kind of talent as a supporting actress, like you're setting your movie up for success. Like she's one of the best.
Yeah. I'm sure I would have had it had I seen the actual film.
Right.
Because she's probably, I don't want to say probably for Oscars, but she's nominated for an Oscar. So it doesn't surprise me that she's on your list. And knowing how good of an actress she actually is, I wouldn't be surprised if she did win for her role. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it
So
was very impressive.
yeah. Um, let's go ahead and let's do the supporting actors. And you go ahead and give us your third pick.
All right, I'm also glad you're sitting down again. So this is definitely a heart pick. Um, it's a movie that, when I was thinking back about like all the movies I've seen this year, it like every time I see it, I'm like, dude, I love that movie so much. So my number three is Brian Tyree Henry, or Lemon from Bullet Train. Uh,
I almost went with Lemon.
yeah, I mean, he was, I think, the best part. I mean, Lemon and Tangerine together.
Yeah.
Uh, Lemon with his quirky personality about Thomas the Tank Engine and how he could associate everybody on the train with one of their characters, and how it just became such an integral part to them figuring out who the murderers on the train are, or who they should be looking for with the diesel stickers and things like that. Overall, I think Bullet Train was probably one of my favorite movies of the year, and he is a big reason why I love that movie as much as I do.
Yeah, it was. This was a tough list for me to put together. Um, and I had thought back to Bullet Train. I was looking through the films and I was like, oh, Lemon and Tangerine, like they were so good. Um, but I stayed away because this was actually a really tough category for me. There were so many different options. Um, at one point, Miles Teller was on my list for Top
Yeah.
Gun. Like I was, um, my number three though, um, Barry Keoghan for the Banshees of Inisherin. He played Dominic, um, and this was one of those where his performance was really, really strong. Um, his character in movie was actually really sad.
Okay.
Um, but like he's simple, right? Clearly not like fully functioning,
Well, he's the village idiot.
yeah. It's very tragic, like his story. Um, like all the way through, and he's just like he's almost always like happy and outgoing. Like he doesn't have a care in the world, and then he walks into the river and drowns at the end. Like it's just his whole story. But he was very like his performance was very, very good. I was a big fan. Um,
That's a solid choice.
yeah, big fan. So that was my number three.
So my number two was my number one for a lot of the year, and it's been back and forth between one and two, one and two, one and two. So I finally had to pick one. My number two is Pedro Pascal from the
Wow.
unbearable weight of massive talent. I know, I
I
know.
thought for sure though I had it pegged as your one.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been my one 30 minutes ago. It might be my one 30 minutes from now. Like I almost have just one A and one B at
Yeah,
this point. It's so hard to decide. Like honestly, this was probably the hardest category
sure.
for me because there's been a lot of great supporting roles.
It really was. It was tough.
I hate he's not getting the love he should get for this movie because he was iconic. Uh, Definitely one of the funniest films of the year, especially for the Golden Globes when they had a category for comedies. I thought it was an absolute tragedy
Snub. It was
that
a
he,
snub.
yeah, that he wasn't even nominated. Sure, he might not win it, but him and Nicolas Cage together was one of the best buddy films to
Yeah,
date. To
it was
date,
it was golden. Yeah, it was wonderful.
yeah.
I really like that pick. I actually it was like I said, it was on my list. There were so many supporting actors that I could have went with. Um my number two, and I think you'll appreciate this one. Uh Not much was said about the film. The film was kind of mid, especially for a Marvel film. especially for a Thor film. Um, but the one constant that I heard was that Christian Bale gave an amazing performance, and he did, and that's why he's my number two for his role in Thor: Love and Thunder, as the God Slayer,
Gore the God Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher. Um, it was nuts. Like he Christian Bale is so phenomenally talented. Um, whenever he's on the screen, you can't not pay attention. He's captivating.
Well, he's the only reason that movie's even mid.
Sure.
Like it's
I
crazy.
agree.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I walked out of that theater saying, like, I really hate that movie, but Christian Bale was so good that the movie is watchable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that was why he was my second, my runner up.
Great pick.
Yeah,
Ever you know how I feel about Christian Bale.
I do.
So my number one.
Should I be sitting down for this one or
No, this one I
okay?
think is much more in line with the public. Is Ke Kwan
Yeah.
from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Uh he he's such a lovable character in every universe is the thing. Like there's not a universe where I hated a character that he played.
Yeah.
Uh he's just a likable guy. And he added so much to that film, and him and Michelle Yeoh play so well together. Uh their chemistry on screen is insane. And I was really happy that he's getting the credit he deserves because he's a really cool story. And how he finally got back into acting after he quit. Um, so he's my number one.
Yeah. That's
Lock it in.
lock it in. No, I think that's a solid pick. I think you and I were both really excited when he was getting the recognition, the Golden Globe, because uh, his story is neat, right? Leaving Hollywood, not thinking there was a place for Asian actors coming back, and um, it's exciting to see him perform, especially in this movie. This movie was insane, um, but it was a little nitpicky of me
Mhm.
because there was a specific scene in the film where I thought it was like a little forced, and so I didn't. I liked his performance a lot, and I liked him as a character. Um, but as far as like getting the award, I didn't necessarily think he was my favorite supporting actor.
Sure.
Um, I mentioned this gentleman, my number one, last week when he wasn't nominated for a Golden Globe. Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans. I thought he gave one of the strongest. There was two strong performances in The Fablemans, right? And he was one of them. Um, he gave a powerful monologue to young Steven Spielberg, or I guess that wasn't his name, but
Yeah. Same thing.
Spielberg. Um, that I absolutely loved. I think his role was pretty pivotal in um, shaping the young director's thoughts and actions going forward.
Yep.
I was just a big fan. So I was a little upset that it didn't get love, and then to find out it was nominated for the Oscar was really cool. I texted you, I texted you, and I was like, somebody up there watches our show.
Yeah. At
Somebody
least
heard. Somebody heard me.
one person.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, he would be my winner for supporting actor. Big fan. And I like Judd Hirsch because Independence Day.
Yeah. No
It
bias.
is what it is, dude.
No bias.
um. So supporting actor. You want to get the next one?
Yeah. Yeah. Are we doing best actress?
Uh. Yeah. I guess we'll do two, and then just have the same winner because everybody has the same winner.
Sure. Yeah. So my number three is for a movie that I think probably deserved to be mentioned somewhere in the awards list. I feel like I don't know what category it would be under. But I did Kiki Palmer from Nope. I thought Nope was actually a really good film. Very surprising. I have a very love-hate relationship with Jordan Peele movies. I'm very 50-50 on them. But I left the theater thinking that's probably his best film he's done. And she was a big part of it. She was a really good. Maybe this is just a stretch for some or a heart pick, but I think she deserves some recognition.
Sure. I didn't watch it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Uh, my 3 pick. We again, there was 2 performances in this film that I actually liked. It was the Fablemans, and that was Judd Hirsch and Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
Ms. Fableman. The thing that like I remember most vividly is the dancing scene. Her dancing.
It was her best scene by far.
Yeah. But I think she gave an overall strong performance.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like kind of like the shining moment, I guess, for her.
Yeah, the Oscar moment.
Yeah. It was beautifully done, beautifully written and choreographed, and she just gave a great performance, and I enjoyed it. So that would be my number 3.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Daisy Edgar Jones from Where the Crawdads Sing. Another movie that I think got disrespected a lot by especially critics. It was one of those movies that we walked in just because there was nothing else to see that week, and we knew the book was popular, and we walked out of the theater and we just kind of looked at each other and said, damn, that was really good. And I think she was she was the protagonist of the entire movie. And I know she doesn't have a ton of credits to her name, but she's really good. And that movie was really enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed Where the Crawdads Sing. I hadn't read the book, but the film, as far as like book to film adaptations, it seemed to me like people who read the book generally liked the movie.
Yeah.
But it didn't get as much notoriety as I thought it deserved for just being a well done film. Was Reese Witherspoon the director of that? Or
Director, producer,
it?
something like that. It was a Reese Witherspoon movie. I don't know if she directed and produced or just produced or what.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job with that one. My number 2 pick, kind of under the radar here, Daisy Edgar Jones from Where the Crawdads Sing. We had watched it. The movie, the book had just came out. Yeah, it was the same. It was the same person. Jared.
I actually had no idea.
Yeah, no, I know. So when you said it, I was like, damn it. I thought, though. I thought I was going to surprise you with one, like get you with a and you were going to be like, oh, that was a good pick. I forgot about that.
I mean, I obviously think it's a good pick.
Yeah. You want to just unveil the number 1 for both of us real quick too while you're at it, since you broke the number 2?
Yeah, so it's Jessica Chastain from the 355. Just kidding. I wish I didn't see that movie. So number 1 is Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
And it's not close.
Yeah, again, a league of her own. The rest was just a formality to have some content for this episode. If she doesn't win an Oscar, I will be so surprised / devastated / angry.
Yeah.
Because she's a great actress to begin with. But this is like the performance of a lifetime.
Yeah. If you are a gambling man, take $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, throw it on Michelle Yeoh to win the Oscar, and just make money.
Well,
it's free.
I'm just saying, if you put the odds are so good, if you put $100 on her to win the Oscar, you'll probably win $101.
Yeah. So there you go.
Sure thing.
Sure thing. Michelle Yeoh, also my number one. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I feel like we're also just going to do that for best actor. So
Maybe.
no way. No way, bro. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
my three is going to be different than yours because my
Well,
three was a hard
well,
pick.
well, my three is also a hard pick, but I'm sure it's different.
My three for best actor, I went with the Nicolas Cage for Massive Weight. If he were ever going to be nominated, I thought it would have been for this movie. It was early in the year, and you said earlier, and I agree, it didn't get enough love because it was a great film, fantastic. Him and Pedro Pascal were incredible together. The chemistry was nutty. Um, yeah, I thought if you like, it was kind of like the Will Smith last year for King Richard was if he was going to win one, it would have been for this role. I feel
Yeah.
the same way about Nick Cage and the Massive Weight of Unbearable Talent. I thought it was such a good film, and he did a really good job. And don't get me wrong, I still don't think he's like a great actor. Okay,
Yeah.
um, but if he was ever going to win an award, it would have been here for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. That movie was obviously written for Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it was made
Like,
for him,
and
quite literally.
yeah. So I agree with everything you said. He was fantastic. And it's a shame he's not going to get the love he deserves. Probably because the movie's a comedy and those kind of don't get the love they deserve.
They
But
really don't.
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Yeah,
Uh, my number three is Alexander Skarsgård from The Northman.
sure.
Um, definitely a heart pick. I was struggling to find a third for this, and I really liked The Northman, and I really liked him in The Northman. I don't know how great the acting was, but him in that role was fantastic to me. Um, so I just kind of went with the heart. Obviously, there's probably a couple Oscar nominations that I didn't see their films, so I can't really speak to those.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Skarsgård's performance in The Northman.
Yeah, you got to think about how difficult it had to have been to do what I believe was an authentic like timepiece.
Yeah,
Um, how difficult it must be to act that, right? And he was fantastic throughout. But that whole cast to me was insane. Like I really just enjoyed that entire cast. Willem Dafoe was in it. Anya
Ethan
Taylor Joy,
Hawke.
obviously, Ethan Hawke, like the um oh, and what's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
In a place like yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Nicole Kidman was in it, and we hated her. Uh, yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Um, yeah, I think that's a solid pick. I liked the film and his role. Um, number one and number two were very difficult for me, and I left it as is because well, I'll explain my number one when I get there. I'll explain our number one when I get there. My number two is Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin.
Our number two is
Our
Colin Farrell from Banshees of Inisherin.
yeah, he was fantastic. I think I don't think he got enough credit for being such a great actor. I think in 2012 or somewhere in the early teens, he was actually nominated as the fifth best Irish actor of all time. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and all I could think was who were the first four? Because I've just always been a big Colin Farrell fan. But yeah, his performance here as Podrick was pretty nutty. Um,
Well, I mean, really, if this movie gets released any other year, he probably wins Best Actor.
yeah, sure.
He just
I
ran.
agree.
I think he just ran into an unstoppable force. Like I don't know what else to say.
So let's talk about the number one here, because what really set it apart for me more than anything else was the fact that he did the actual singing of Elvis, and that would be the Austin Butler.
Yeah.
Um, the fact that he was able to not just like act and be a Elvis impersonator, but actually sing the music was incredible.
Yeah, I think there are, we were talking about it with Michelle Yeoh. There are movies that define careers. And this was Austin Butler's. Like I don't care what he does for the rest of his life. If he ever outperforms what he did in Elvis, it would have to be one of the greatest movies of all time, or one of the greatest performances of all time. Because Elvis as a movie was it was good, wasn't great.
Yeah.
It was anchored pretty bad by Tom Hanks. Like he was drugged down significantly
Yeah.
by him, which is, something you never think you're going to hear or say.
Right.
But Austin Butler as Elvis, I don't know if I would ever make another Elvis movie until Austin Butler's just a memory. Like it would have to be a century before I even attempted another Elvis movie.
Yeah. To me, that's like trying to find another Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
It would be like that. You can't.
Yeah, but like you said, he did all the actual singing. And if you close your eyes, it almost is Elvis, like it would be.
Oh, it's crazy.
It'd be very minor. Like you would have to have pitch perfect hearing to be able to differentiate between the two. So
yeah, no, I'm perfect. The movie was for the movie to be as bad as it was, as mid as it was. He elevated it to something better with just his performance. Like, if he's not Elvis in that movie, I don't know that we're even having this conversation. I don't even know if Elvis is in consideration for anything.
No. Oh, for sure. No. Like, I mean, the movie was okay. Like,
Yeah.
And it might have been, movie might actually be bad, except for him.
I think that's fair.
I mean, like, I don't. I mean, the costume designs were pretty cool and stuff like that for all these like other categories that I think they got nominated for in the Oscars. But Austin Butler's just a juggernaut. Like,
yeah,
again,
factual.
I think he has it locked up.
Oh, if he doesn't, like,
I mean, I won't be disappointed if Colin Farrell wins it.
Yeah,
because I love Colin Farrell. Like he's a great actor. Like you, since The Recruit and SWAT and all of that, been a big Colin Farrell fan. I just think you have to give it to Butler for what he did. Because if Austin Butler doesn't win it for Elvis, he may never win it for anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually thought you might hit Colin Farrell for supporting actor for Penguin.
I almost put it like in my notes as under best actor, I have Colin Farrell Banshee / the Batman. Because he was also the best part of that movie.
Oh, for sure. For sure. No, I like it. So like I would, from a critic perspective, it wouldn't surprise me to see Colin Farrell get it. Because that movie is very much an award grab. Very dialogue heavy, a lot like Power of the Dog last year, late release. It wouldn't surprise me. I haven't seen it yet. The Whale, Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Also wouldn't surprise me. Everything I've seen, his performance looks incredible. Like I saw a short clip of like a monologue he gave, but I think right now, like you said, it's Austin Butler's to lose ultimately.
Yeah, and I'll be real. I know you compared Banshees to Power of the Dog. I thought Banshees was a much better movie than Power of the Dog.
You think so?
I think Power of the Dog was exhausting to me.
Yeah,
Like it,
I think the story's better in Power of the Dog though. Like the
maybe,
actual, yeah.
maybe,
Um, the
maybe I just
performances are better
okay.
in this movie, I think.
Let me, I guess, let me rephrase my statement. I enjoyed Banshees way more than I enjoyed Power of the Dog. Power
Yes.
of the Dog is a movie I will never watch again,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, it was one of those we talked about it before, but like those exhausting movies that you just like you won't you watched it once, that was enough. You'll never forget it. It was amazing. You'll never watch it again.
Yeah, I think Banshees of Inisherin was a much more friendlier critic movie because, like, I watched Power
Yeah.
of the Dog with my family and they hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
That doesn't
they
surprise me.
they had all checked out by like 45 minutes, and everyone was on their computers talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to like introduce someone to like this is an award type movie, Banshees is a really good one to start with. It's
Yeah.
the perfect length at an hour 45. It's funny. It's very simple. It's not depressing. So go with that. Even though Cumberbatch was great and
Yeah. That's true. No, I agree with that. That's perfectly said. Um, so yeah, probably Austin Butler Sluice. Let's before we do our last category is going to be best movie, obviously.
yeah.
Let's do best director.
All
Uh,
right.
you
Did
did
you,
best director, right?
yeah, no, I did best director,
Okay,
but did you start with the best actor?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh so just like my number 3 slot for best actor, my number 3 slot for best director is Robert Eggers from The Northman. Uh I love that movie. I want our audience to know that I love that movie. Uh I think it was directed well. I think it was shot well. I am a super huge fan, which is also why I love Banshees, of natural shot selection. Like if you can make a gorgeous scene in just nature's beauty, you will have me. That's why I liked The Green Knight so much when it came out. That's why I like these types of films. Uh and I appreciate the thought and education behind the Northman. I feel like, look, and I know you said it earlier, I'm just going to rehash it. I felt that he did his research on how that group of Vikings lived and their belief systems and what motivated them. And I thought it was portrayed pretty perfectly onto the screen. So
Fair. I think that's a fair assessment. Also, one of my favorite movies of the year. Um, my number 3 best director, Martin McDonough, Banshees of Inisherin.
yeah,
Just very well done. Can't say enough good things about this movie. It was very 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 good.
yeah.
I,
Uh
I think our number 2 might be the same.
I don't, is it Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh, I think
Okay. Yeah. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I know uh my number one's probably a heart pick, but uh I I've said everything I can about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those guys killed it. They slayed it. They put together what might actually end up being one of my all-time favorite movies, period.
yeah,
Uh so
I like it.
that's my two.
My number 2 slash your number 1, James Cameron
Boo.
for Avatar. I thought it was everything I wanted it to be, and I thought it was time well spent that he devoted 10 years of his life to,
12.
12 years of his life to, um, and I think that alone, like aside from just it being a very 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 beautifully done film, should get him something. So James Cameron Avatar, my number 2.
Yeah. Uh so I'm assuming yours is Everything Everywhere All at
Yeah,
Once. Yeah.
yeah, it is.
The reason why I gave the nod to James Cameron is it is for Avatar, but it's more for what he continues to do when he films something. Like we're watching films that are getting made in like 48 frames per second.
Yeah.
Like he's pushing the boundaries, he's trying different things, and they usually stick pretty well. And so that's why I gave it to him. And it was probably more of a achievement award than just for Avatar, because obviously, and I don't want to spoil anything, even though everyone can probably guess how it's going to go when we get to best movie. But I think he just outdid himself again. Like you forget how pretty movies can be until you watch a James Cameron film.
Yeah.
And it's kind of humbling, to be honest. You're like, man, there's still so much that can happen in film. It kind of gets you excited. And I'll just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. I'm not giving Steven Spielberg credit for a movie he does not deserve credit for.
I agree.
The Fableman was a good movie.
100%. I agree.
I enjoyed that movie, but it's not anywhere remotely in the same realm as multiple movies that came out this year. Honestly, Banshees of Inisherin was a much better movie than The Fablemans.
Yeah, if he wins Best Director, I'm going to be pissed.
Dude, I think we should just go ahead and prepare for it. I was talking to Dane, a really good friend of ours, and he's the award guy. And I was like, dude, I hate that Spielberg's getting so much credit. And he said it's basically Hollywood porn.
Yeah.
It's a movie about a movie directed by Spielberg for Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Or about Steven Spielberg. You might as well just go ahead and just tee it up.
Yeah. Number one, obviously, Daniel Scheinert, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I hate that I watched these movies in the same week. I watched these two movies in the same week.
Yeah.
It seems like recency bias. I promise it's not. Okay. They're just that good.
Well, look, I'm going to be I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once when it came out at the beginning of the year. And every movie I saw after that basically got compared to it. I'm like, damn, these movies just aren't that good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough.
Like I can only, because I've never done it, I can only equate it to like chasing a high.
Yeah.
Like I was so I was so excited after Everything Everywhere All at Once that I wanted to feel that same feeling. And for 300 days,
just wouldn't come.
It just wasn't there.
Dang. That's rough. That's rough, bro. I'm sorry. So yeah, Best Director, not Steven Spielberg. I mean, all these other names on my list.
Literally, give it. If you give it to anybody, as long as it's not Spielberg, I'll be happy with the decision for the Oscars.
Give it to the Elvis guy. At least, like, even compared to the Fablemans, it seemed like the director of Elvis cared more about that project than Spielberg did about his own semi-autobiographical movie. And that's saying something, because that's about his actual life and not the life of some celebrity, right?
That's fair.
So, but I really do. It felt to me like the director really, really poured his all into the Elvis movie, regardless of how it turned out or what you think about the end result. I felt like he loved Elvis, and so we got Elvis. Like,
well, I mean, we talk about how mid that movie is, but like if Tom Hanks even acted like remotely as good as he could, that would probably be a movie that is in contention for best movie of the year.
Sure.
Like if we got Tom Hanks at his best and Austin Butler as Elvis, that I don't know what else you need.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We got Tom Hanks at his absolute worst.
It was the worst time.
Like I don't even want to see his new movie that came out, that Man Otto or whatever.
Oh, that movie looks adorable.
I'm so terrified.
No. Tom Hanks is gonna be. He'll be fine. He'll be back. Don't
I'll
worry.
have to watch Forrest Gump or something in between just so I can
Castaway.
I can reset my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom Hanks is one of the goats, one of the greatest. So he can have it's an anomaly, dude. It's a one-off. Don't worry about it. All right. Best movie. We made it. We're here. The whole year, 2022, all scrunched into 3 films.
3 films.
That's what we do it for, y'all. We do it so that we can reveal the 3 best films of the year. I wonder what our 3 best films were last year. I don't even.
Hold on. I can let me go to.
Do you have the list?
I don't have my list, but I can. I think
in your notes.
I think our AMC. You can go to 2021, and I'm going to see if I'll guess, and then I'll go try to find the episode and run through it again. Oh no, it only goes. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Well, I know one of mine.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I think it's actually. Oh. Okay. Hold on. It got a lot harder the further I scrolled up.
I wrote mine on paper. I didn't write mine in my notes.
No, I don't have notes. I'm just looking at my AMC app to see if I can recreate. So this is what I think.
Okay.
Would be mine. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay.
Dune.
Oh yeah.
And West Side Story. And possibly I don't think I did it for best movie, but I think King Richard probably was in best actor. I don't know if I did it for best movie.
Okay. All right. What was my first movie? The 355. Okay.
Now you got to change the date to.
I know. I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, I forgot about King Richard. Oh, Dune was definitely on there though. Had to be, right?
Yeah.
I keep thinking about Tick Tick Boom. I feel like that.
I don't think I put that in best movie. Maybe we did 5 last year.
Oh, no way we did 5.
Who knows?
Oh.
God, the end of the year was so good last year.
Yeah, it was, dude.
Holy
I was just looking at all that. Good Lord. Okay. All right. This year, 2020. Let's go back. Wait, let's go forward.
Yeah.
We're now back. Okay. Who started the last one? Did you start? I start this one?
Yeah.
My pick, my number 3. Best movie of 2022. Third choice is Banshees of Inisherin.
Holy shit. Mine is also Banshees of Inisherin.
Is our list the exact same?
It depends on what your number 2 is.
Oh.
Let me preface it. This just kind of shows how similar Kevin and I are as people.
Yeah.
Because we did not know each other's list prior to this. Like we literally were typing it up before the show, and he'd be like, "What'd you do for your 3?" I was like, "I'm not going to tell you. I want it to be a surprise." And then I would ask him, he'd be like, "I'm not going to tell you. I want it to be a surprise." So our lists are random, but we obviously have similar interest.
Sure.
All right,
number you go ahead. Yeah.
Number 2, Top Gun Maverick.
No, actually, that tracks though for you. My number 2 is The Northman, because I also love that movie, and I also want our fans to know that I love that movie. It was one of my favorites of the year, clearly, as it being number 2 on my list.
Yeah. I respect that.
I imagine our number 1 is the same.
Is it?
Yes.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
You had me at everything. Yes. It was that good. I mean, it's really tough because you see it like, and part of you wants to go against the grain, right? Like, oh, it can't be that good. Like they're critics. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I've been there before too. Like I felt the same way, but damn, they got one right. and I'm not
Oh,
mad that it's this one. This was a great film with a lot of really good performances. And while it has like quirky moments, I felt it all fits just perfectly into this film. I really loved it.
well, I think it's the best multiverse movie, like live action, like
Sure.
the way they set up the systems of traveling between universes and how certain things have to happen for you to do it, and just the different universes themselves. Like it was just firing on all cylinders. They hit lightning in a bottle. I think like
Yeah.
we're not going to have a coda moment like we did last year where everyone's like, "Holy crap! I can't believe that won Best Picture."
Yeah.
I would also be very surprised if this doesn't win Best Picture. I think,
I would wager a lot of money on this film.
yeah, it's one of those movies that I walked out and I was like, "That's about as 10 out of 10 a movie could possibly be."
Yeah. Yeah. I think you told me that was pretty high up there on Dane's.
Oh, I messaged him as soon as I got out of the theater because I think I saw his story and he had mentioned it, and I was like, "Dude, I just saw that movie," and he was like, 4.9 out of 5
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it can't be perfect.
Right.
And I completely agree.
Sure.
I had a very looking at my list, and I know I mentioned it last year. I've grown into such an A24 fan.
Yeah, bro. I didn't think I would be that guy, but I kind of am now. Like
Yeah,
with just I don't know. The Green Knight didn't do it for me. It
that's fair.
really didn't. But I thought The Northman was beautiful,
Well,
right?
that's not an A24 film.
Oh,
We went over that.
well, no, it was A24 esque, like with the
Yeah.
natural landscape, beauty and nature type deal. I've gotten I've found that I've really enjoyed that. So I don't know. That's where I'm at.
All right. So let me pose this question to you.
I mean,
2020,
Banshees was like that too, though.
yeah. 2022, was it worse or better than 2021?
Worse,
Worse.
without a question.
Agreed.
Yeah, without question. I thought, and I love musicals. I hate that we didn't really get a good, strong musical this year.
Agreed.
Um, because there were so many last year. In the Heights, West Side Story, Tick Tick
Tick tick
Boom.
boom.
There was the one about teenage suicide.
Oh, dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen was one. I mean, there were just so many bangers last year for musicals, and this year was not that. Um, I think on the whole, movies last year were just better. Um,
I also agree.
uh, Obviously, with a couple of exceptions, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Sheeran, The Northman. I think those three would have rode just as well last year. But there were surprises last year, like King Richard, right? Will Smith's performance kind of like you just came out of nowhere. You're not expecting that. Um, so yeah, I don't think this year was close. Hopefully 2023 is a little bit better movies wise. Got off to a really good start. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Puss in Boots doesn't count for this year.
Yeah. And I think it came out
Let
at
me
the end
see.
of last year, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Um, dang. I thought that was going to be well. Technically, the first movie I saw in theaters was Puss in Boots, so I'll let it count,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
even
We
though
hope
it won't count.
we
But
we hope we hope that. Uh, I guess what do we have to look forward to?
the Oscars,
The Oscars are coming. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're sitting down because let's not forget about what could be
the worst movie ever.
the worst movie of 2023 at
Let's
least.
go.
80 for Brady.
80 for Brady. It's going to be awful.
I'm going to see it. Like I feel obligated.
No, no, no. Mother's Day is going to be equally as bad. I promise.
Oh, bro, I had to erase that from
Oh, it's gonna be awful.
My head.
Or not Mother's Day. Is it? What is the
the next chapter?
Yeah, it's like the 4 old ladies. It's just gonna be awful.
Yeah. I will say next week we get Knock at the Cabin,
That'll be good.
the new M. Night Shyamalan Dave Bautista movie.
You mean Rupert Grint movie? Hello.
Calm down. There's a movie called Fear coming out tomorrow. Doesn't have any show times near us, so I don't know how good that's going to be.
I'm so excited to see Ron Weasley in another movie.
I'm really excited for Cocaine Bear.
There's going to be I think this year might be worse. Now that all these things are coming up, like
no. We got some redeeming ones. Hold on.
Okay.
We got Ant-Man, which I think will be good. Scream 6, which I know you're not a fan of, but I really enjoy Scream. It also has Jenna Ortega.
Yeesh, we are a fan.
Creed 3.
Not of Scream. Of
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, that's the one.
John Wick 4. Super Mario Brothers comes out this year.
Oh, that's exciting. I think that movie's not going to be bad. I'm just gonna say it.
You know, dude, the newest trailer I actually enjoyed.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed that a lot. But most importantly, and maybe we have to count it for 2023 if things don't get better. But they're re-releasing Titanic.
Heck yeah, dude.
So we'll at least get to see one good movie in theaters.
Yeah, give me some Leo. That's what we like.
We do love some Leo. There's a new Nicolas Cage vampire movie.
I'm all in on that. Put it on my 2023 favorites right now. Top 3 right now.
That's it's a bold statement. Yeah, that's about it. So Knock at the Cabin next week, along with 80 for Brady. Might just have to be a 2 for that day. Who knows?
We just could not, you know.
I feel obligated to watch it. I watched the 355 in theaters. It cannot be worse than that.
It could very well be worse.
I don't believe it. I don't believe you.
Check the ice cubes. It's in the ice cubes.
Bro, but that's the 355. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
This is at least a comedy. There will be one funny part in that movie. And not like unironically funny, like check the ice cubes because it's super stupid, but like one I mean to be funny moment.
Okay. All right.
I'll see it without you.
Is it going to be better than Algae Rhythm and Space Jam 2?
Well, it has Gronk in it, so that's
already worse. You just said a thing that made it worse.
That's not true.
Say a thing that makes it better.
Gronk's funny.
His acting is atrocious. You've seen the commercials, the USAA commercials?
Yeah, but those are
bad.
Those are funny in a bad way.
Yeah, like Space Jam was funny in a bad way.
I don't think there was anything funny about Space Jam.
Oh. Yeah. It wasn't good.
No, it was the opposite of good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's everything I got.
I think that's everything. But we do have socials. Would you like to tell the tell the class?
We'll do socials. That reminded me of the Grinch. You can find Jarrett or I on the Facebooks. If you know us, you can just DM us directly. Of course, we want to know your thoughts, your top list, who your favorite performances of the year, your favorite movies of the year, who you thought we left off that you actually loved, who you hated from Jarrett's list because mine's perfect, all of that stuff. So if you know us, you can just DM us directly, or if you want to look at we have a podcast in the Silence Your Cell Phone subcategory podcast. We're on Instagram at Silence Your Cell Phone. We are on Twitter at Silenced Phone, or if you search Silence Your Cell Phones, will be the first account to pop up. We have another one. Oh, we have an email. Yeah, if you want to reach us that way, silence yourself phone, no S, at gmail.com. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/silence your cell phone. Jarrett posted a wonderful video earlier this month. Our New Year's resolution as a podcast was to do more of those. And so we are going to stick to it just like everybody does with their New Year's resolutions, because I believe in everyone.
We don't ever fail.
Hey, Kerchow. Yeah. Also, shout outs. Jarrett, you want to handle some of those?
Yes, shout outs. We have travelers on the omnibus, the crew from Mississippi that covers everything nerd and pop culture.
And they're back.
They're back. They also took a holiday hiatus with Jay, Jody, Ethan, and Brady. Speaking of Jody, he has a alternate persona, JL Kite, who runs a horror podcast known as Fearology. I believe you can also find them on all your major podcasting networks, Spotify, Google, Anchor, things like that. So if you're into horror, he is probably the most knowledgeable horror fan I know. We have the Ronan Rooster, aka Kevin Gallo, aka our favorite DM for cyberpunking. You can follow his Twitch, Ronan Rooster. I believe his YouTube is just Kevin Gallo. Come watch us play Cyberpunk
Tuesday nights.
You can skip us playing Pokemon every other Tuesday nights.
No, because Jarrett's our DM on that Tuesday night, and we love Jarrett.
Every Tuesday we got something going on. Kevin streams pretty regularly.
Yeah.
We have Jason Holder, Whiskey and Wrestling. If you like to drink and you like to wrestle, he covers it all, really.
All two of those things.
All two of those things.
Really well.
He knows really, really well. So give them a listen. They're also on all of your Spotify needs. Speaking of Spotify, we're caught up. Also something I'm trying to stay with this year. So give me a couple of days to get this uploaded. But as of our last recording, everything is up on Spotify, so you can listen at work. If you get behind, we hope you do. I don't think I missed anybody, did I?
I don't think so. I think you covered everybody that's awesome in our lives.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give him a shout out, even though he doesn't listen to our podcast. If you're in Birmingham and you like cards and you like plushies and you like Pokemon and you like loud store owners, Iron City Games is the place for you.
Yes.
Just kidding. He's not loud. We love him. Anthony, the best card shop in Birmingham, easily bar none. Don't want to go to any other ones. Got the best prices, got the best selection, got the best people. Go support Iron City Games. Also, they have a TCG player. So if you're looking to order online because you're not from the Birmingham area, please do all your buying from them. They're great people.
Yeah.
So
and they've got everything too. Magic the Gathering, Weiss, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece. They do it all. So
yeah, it's your smorgasbord of cards.
Good use of the word smorgasbord.
Yeah, you know.
Smorgasbord.
I very rarely do have a chance to use that word. So
yeah. Or cornucopia.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord. Okay. That's enough. I think we're tired. I think
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to be the witching hour, I guess, at 10 o'clock because we're old.
We are that.
So yeah, I'm going to go read and go to bed. I love all of you. And we will see you next week. And sing.
Hot. Discord.
Discord.
Yeah, Discord.